Watch this closely. Two pieces of wood sliding toward each other, fitting together with a soft click, and that is it. No nails, no screws, not a single drop of glue. They lock into place with nothing but the shape they were cut into, and they will hold for centuries. That is not an exaggeration. Some of the wooden buildings assembled exactly like this have been standing for more than 1,300 years, riding out earthquake after earthquake, while the concrete apartment block thrown up down the road in the 1990s is already being torn down and hauled away. That gap is not luck. It is the result of a carpentry tradition so precise and so patient that a master builder could spend decades learning to cut a single joint by hand. And the most astonishing part is what that same tradition does inside a tiny Japanese home, where it quietly folds an entire life. A staircase, a wardrobe, a guest room, a study, a whole second floor of storage into a space smaller than a Western garage. These are 7 things Japanese carpenters build without a single nail. And by the time we reach number 7, you will look at your own stairs, your own walls, and every wasted square foot in your house completely differently. To understand why this works, you have to flip the way you think about building. In most Western construction, wood is the weak part and the fastener is the hero. You force 2 boards together and trust a metal nail to hold them. Japanese carpentry does the opposite. There, the wood itself is the hero, and the joint is the whole point. The 2 pieces are carved so they grip each other, interlock, and actually get stronger under pressure, the way 2 hands lace their fingers together. Metal rusts, splits the wood, and works loose over time. A perfectly cut wooden joint does the reverse. It flexes during an earthquake instead of snapping, and it can be taken apart and reassembled generations later without leaving a single scar. Once you see that idea in action, everything else on this list falls into place. So let's start with the joint itself, the small miracle the entire tradition is built on. Number 1, the interlocking joint, wood that holds itself together. In Japanese, the family of techniques for connecting timber is called Tsugite and Shiguchi, and there are hundreds of variations, each cut for a specific job. Picture a carpenter taking 2 raw beams, marking them with a thin bamboo pen, and then, using only hand saws and razor-sharp chisels, carving a maze of tongues, slots, and hidden wedges into the ends. When the 2 beams finally come together, the joint disappears completely. It looks like a single, unbroken piece of wood. This is the craft that built the great temples, the kind of work done by specialist carpenters called miyadaiku, who spend their lives mastering it. And here's the part that should genuinely stop you. These joints were designed centuries before modern engineering, yet they handle stress better than many of the bolted connections we use today. The reason those ancient pagodas survive earthquakes is that the whole structure is allowed to shift, twist, and absorb the shock instead of rigidly fighting it and cracking. The joint bends so the building does not break. And if a joint can hold up a temple, imagine what it can do for a piece of furniture you actually live with. That brings us to the technique that turns this idea into pure art. Number 2, Kumiko, hundreds of tiny pieces held together by nothing but geometry. If the temple joint is muscle, Kumiko is lace. It is a woodworking technique where the craftsman cuts dozens, sometimes hundreds, of paper-thin wooden strips and slots them together into dazzling geometric patterns. Stars, hexagons, flowers, snowflakes, using no nails and no glue at all. Each tiny piece is shaved to a precise angle so that it wedges its neighbors in place, and the whole delicate panel holds together purely by friction and pressure. Watch a single sliver of wood get tapped into the final gap, and suddenly the entire lattice locks rigid, like a puzzle snapping shut. Traditionally, Kumiko fills the upper panels of sliding doors and room dividers, throwing soft, intricate shadows across a room when light passes through it. But you do not need a temple to want this. Hobbyists around the world are now building Kumiko coasters, lamp panels, and cabinet inserts on their own workbenches, because once you understand the angle, the wood does the holding for you. It is proof that the most beautiful thing in a room can also be the most structurally clever. And speaking of clever, the next one solves a problem every small home on Earth is fighting right now. Number 3, the kaidan dansu, a staircase that is secretly a chest of drawers. This is where Japanese carpentry stops being beautiful and starts being borderline magical for anyone short on space. A kaidan dansu is a step chest, a staircase usually built from rich, warm wood where every single stair is also a drawer or a cabinet. The risers pull open, the sides swing wide to reveal hidden compartments. You climb to the second floor on top of your own storage. Think about how much room a normal staircase wastes in your home. That huge, dead triangle of empty air underneath it doing absolutely nothing. The Japanese looked at that same space centuries ago during the Edo period and refused to let it go to waste. So they joined these chests together using the same nail-free techniques, meaning a step chest could even be partly disassembled and moved between homes. One object, doing the work of three: a staircase, a dresser, and a wall of cabinets. Once you have seen a staircase fold open into a dozen drawers, an ordinary set of stairs starts to look almost lazy. But the step chest is just one member of a much larger family of furniture built on the very same principle. Number 4. Sashimono. Furniture joined so cleanly it needs no hardware. Sashimono is the art of building cabinets, chests, and boxes entirely from interlocking wooden joints. No nails, no screws, no visible fastenings anywhere. A traditional tansu chest made this way has joints hidden so skillfully inside the wood that the finished piece looks carved from a single solid block. The drawers glide on wood alone, fitted so precisely that pushing one shut gently pulls a draft of air through the whole cabinet. What makes this so practical and not just gorgeous is that nothing can rust loose and nothing can strip out. So a well-made Sashimono chest can stay tight and functional for generations, then be taken apart and repaired piece by piece instead of thrown away. Many were even designed to break down flat for moving, a kind of centuries-old flat-pack furniture that puts the wobbly particle board version in your bedroom to shame. This is the deeper lesson hiding in all of it. When the joint is the strength, the furniture outlives the family that bought it. Now, if the carpentry can shape your furniture, the next idea lets it reshape entire rooms on demand. Number 5. Shoji and Fusuma. Walls that slide instead of swinging. Here's a frustration almost every Western home quietly suffers from and never questions: doors that swing. A hinged door needs a clear arc of empty floor just to open, and in a small room, that swing zone is space you can never use. Japanese homes solved this generations ago with sliding partitions. Shoji are the light wooden lattice screens covered in translucent paper, and Fusuma are the solid sliding panels, and both glide silently along grooved wooden tracks instead of swinging out into the room. Because they slide, they steal zero floor space. But the real genius is what they do to the layout itself. Slide the panels open and two small rooms become one large open space for a gathering. Slide them shut, and that same open area instantly becomes a private bedroom, a quiet study, and a sitting room. The walls themselves move to fit the moment. A single Japanese room can be a living room in the morning, a dining room at noon, and a bedroom at night, simply by sliding a few panels. Your home has a fixed number of rooms. Theirs has as many as the day requires. And that flexible thinking goes even deeper right into the structure of the wall. Number 6. The Tokonoma and the Oshier. Storage and beauty built straight into the architecture. In a traditional Japanese room, storage is not a piece of furniture you buy and shove against a wall. It is carved into the building itself. The Oshier is a deep, full-height closet built into the wall, and it is the secret engine behind one of the most space-efficient habits in the world. Every morning, the futon people sleep on is folded and tucked away inside the Oshier, and the bedroom instantly transforms back into open, usable living space. No bed frame eating up a third of the room, no mattress to walk around all day. Then there is the Tokonoma, a shallow built-in alcove, framed in fine wood, made to display a single scroll, a flower, or a piece of pottery. It is a small, deliberate pocket of calm engineered right into the wall, proof that the same carpenters who obsessed over storage also reserved space for nothing but beauty. Built in, not bought. Part of the house, not clutter inside it. And tying this entire system together is one final, humble invention, the one that secretly standardizes the whole home. Number 7. Tatami, the modular floor that lets a whole house click together. At first glance, tatami looks like nothing more than a soft straw mat. In reality, it is the hidden grid that the entire traditional home is built around. Each tatami mat is made to a consistent proportion, roughly twice as long as it is wide, and rooms are literally measured and sized by how many mats they hold. A 4.5 mat room, a 6 mat room, an 8 mat room. That shared unit is the quiet key to everything you have just seen. Because the floor, the sliding screens, the closets, and the joinery are all designed around the same module. The pieces fit one another like a giant coordinated kit. A screen from one room can fit the next. A mat can be lifted, flipped, and refreshed, then dropped right back into the grid. The whole house behaves less like a fixed box and more like a flexible system that can be rearranged, repaired, and adapted one standard piece at a time. It is the modular thinking the rest of the world is only now rediscovering, and the Japanese baked it into the floor centuries ago. So step back and look at what all 7 of these really add up to. A way of building where the wood holds itself together. where a staircase hides a wardrobe, where the walls move to fit your day, and where every room can become any room. It is not about owning more. It is about building smarter, so that a small space does the work of a large one and a single object does the work of three. You do not need to raise a temple or train for 30 years to borrow the idea. You can start by looking at the dead space under your own stairs, the swing of your own doors, the wall you fill with bought furniture, and asking the question a Japanese carpenter would ask, what if the structure itself did the work? If that question excites you, subscribe to Japan Future Lab, because next we are stepping into how these same homes stay cool in brutal summers, dry through the rainy season, and almost silent inside, all without a single machine. That one will change how you think about the air in your own house. See you there.